What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Balanced Perception YouTube channel. And today we're back with a very quick and easy episode about how to fill in gaps on failed 3D prints, or more specifically, prints that have warping. I'm going to show you guys the easiest method I found, and it works amazingly. So let's get to it. Alright, so if you guys are like me and you print with, several different materials ranging from PLA to silk PLA to carbon fiber to PETG or PETG, you probably have had warping happen before. And depending on how bad the warping is, I have usually just thrown away the prints and started all over. But if it's something, for example, a print on my CR10S5, which does like 7-8 day prints, you don't really want to throw those away because you wasted a ton of time and a ton of filament. So I've been, doing this for a good little while now, and I've mostly been using Bondo, which does work extremely well. But I recently had some, warping or some gaps that I did that were just too big. They were just too large, really, for Bondo to work the way that I usually use it. So I did a bit of searching, and I'm kind of ashamed to embarrass that it took me so long to find this stuff. But this is Milliput, I don't know however you want to say it. Comes in white, absolutely phenomenal. Essentially, it's just clay, or like similar to putty. You mix up two different kinds of putties, two come in the tube. I'll show you guys. And I already used it for a project that I was doing last week. And this is actually, if you guys saw my last episode, this is a helmet that I did before that I printed in silk PLA. The helmet you guys saw in the video was actually PETG. And I had a lot of warping with that. That filament is always kind of finicky for me when I printed at rather high speeds on, say, my Bamboo or my Kitty. But anyways, it warped, I assembled it still, and I was like, hey, this is a great episode to show this stuff in action. So it comes in two different, putty types. There's one that's in blue and one that's in white. All you do is mix them together for about, I think it's 5 minutes or so. You ram it into your crack, and then you just sand it smooth. I don't know if I would advise using this for an entire helmet, because this stuff is very, I guess you could say, I don't know, just thick. It's not the easiest to push down into cracks. So if you were trying to use it, for example, to smooth over an entire helmet or an entire mace or sword, whatever, that's gonna be kind of difficult. But in terms of just stuffing it into a crack, it works extremely well. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So I'm gonna show you guys this stuff here, give you a close-up of it, shove it into these cracks here. We're gonna wait probably about 2 hours or so, or at least until it hardens, sand it smooth, and we will be good to go. So let's hop to it. As you guys can see, we have a pretty large gap right here that's from warping. It's pretty decent in size, and then the exact same thing happened on the other side, as you guys can see right here. Basically, two large spots from warping, and it happened because I simply just tried to print the stuff, the silk PLA, too quickly, and it just didn't take. So we're gonna pan the camera over here, and we're using an old mat. It's one of my, I've just been using this for a while. It's not even a mat, it's just a piece of cardboard. But we have our two putties here, and again, I put them inside a plastic bag because you don't want them to dry out. This is how they look. It's just, one comes in a blue bag, one comes in a white bag. We take them out. One is actually a little bit darker than the other, so that also is another indicator of the two. I don't know if you ever get them mixed up. So we're just gonna break off a chunk of, say about that size. And then it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So you do the exact same with the other size. Let's see here. Yeah, something like that would work. And I'm just gonna take a little bit extra for both because, I'd rather have more and not need it, or basically to have enough and not need it than to not have enough and need it, however that saying goes. Yeah, just get a little bit more here. Come on, once it goes, there we go. And then all you literally do is take the two and start mixing them together. And I think it recommended doing this for about 3 minutes. So I'm gonna sit here, put my timer on, and literally just mix these two together for 3 minutes, then we're gonna ram it into our helmet. So see you guys in about a few minutes. All right, so now it's been, I don't know, 3 or 5 minutes or so. We got our putty all mixed up here. Use gloves, because as you can see, it goes everywhere all over your hands. Very simple, just like when you were a kid. Oh, don't know how that got there. But anyways, break off a chunk, and then I personally, whoops, roll it into smaller pieces, like so. Maybe even a smaller chunk than that. And just roll it into very, very tiny pieces. And then I cram it down into the crack that I need filled. And try to get as much in there, and I guarantee you the smoother you make it, it's gonna be way easier in post-processing, because all this stuff does is harden, and then you just sand it away until it's level or flat or whatever. So the smoother you get it, or the flatter or whatever you get it, the easier it's going to be in terms of, you know, your sanding. And if you're anything like me, you hate sanding, so I really try to do my best to get it as flat as possible. And then I actually go over it with a scalpel, I guess you could say. And as you guys can see, I used way too much in terms of what I made, but that's all right. But yep, I use not a scalpel, I don't know, one of those scrapers that I use for my 3D printers. And all I do is just run it along the print here to scrape up any excess. But I'm telling you, this stuff hardens and it just sands away like chalk. It's absolutely phenomenal. So we're gonna finish this part up here. Just ram a little bit more down in there. Like so. Yeah. And then there was some on the side here we still needed to do. I'm gonna do that too. And should be just about done here. You know, ram a little bit down in there. So I'm gonna finish this up, finish the other side up, and then show you guys how it looks before I let it cure and sand. After about maybe 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes of pushing this into and removing, then pushing it in again, this is how we're looking. You can see the gaps that were there are completely gone already. So all we're gonna have left to do is sand this down, and the gaps created from warping will be completely gone. So I'm gonna let this dry for probably about 3 hours, come back and I'll just ram my fingers into it and see if it's still hard. If not, then we'll know it's dry, we'll sand it down, and that'll be it. As you can see, it's been a few hours and it is completely hardened. I cannot put any indentions in it. I cannot do anything to it. It's completely hard. Like I said, it's pretty much like putty or Play-Doh. So now the next step, very simple. We're just gonna go ahead and sand it down. I'll probably end up using the electric sander because I really don't like sanding, and it'll take, I don't know, maybe all of 2 minutes to do with the electric sander, but let's hop to that. So there you have it, everyone. The best method I have found to actually fill in gaps caused by warping or cracking or anything like that, dropping your product. It works better than Bondo. It hardens more than Bondo. I like it a lot more. Again, this is just Milliput Super White. I'll go ahead and link it in the comment section for this video. But again, I highly, highly recommend this stuff. It works extremely well. We're gonna just go ahead and probably put this on a wall somewhere, I'm not sure. I still really, really like it. I am currently working on Hawkman's helmet, so stay tuned for that. But that's pretty much going to do it for this video. If this video does help you, feel free to drop a comment in the comment sections below. I would greatly appreciate it, as it does help the channel. And as always, stay boundless. See you guys. Bye-bye.